that pretty much ended his first Cavs career. Game 5, 2-2 against the Celtics. He had several other big Game 5s when he was with the Heat in close series. Game 5 in a 2-2 series is obviously a vital game. This is where, when you have a guy like LeBron James, it makes all the difference in the world. But the thing is, because AD is out, he's going to really, as great as he can play tonight, he's got to have help from his teammates, and they've got to play top-level defense because the Suns have been getting their legs underneath them, and they're going to be playing at home, and that crowd's going to be into it, and this is going to be a tough one.
Yeah, the crowd is crazy in Phoenix.
It is.
And it's a young team. And think about this. You are trying to make your name in this NBA. I beat the Lakers. I beat LeBron James. Not the Lakers. They're going to say, oh, we beat LeBron. And they're coming at them. So LeBron is going to have to muster up some type of energy from somewhere because we know he's been in this league a long time, the most playoff games ever played by an individual. But it ain't just about LeBron. It's about Dennis. It's about KCP. It's about that whole team. And they got to find someone else to stay up. Think about this. Dennis Schroeder, you learn from CP3. So you know what his mental is. You should go out and try to attack and tell your teammates what you need to do to try to defeat him or try to break him down. But Kyle Kuzma, you really got to step up. This is the one guy the Lakers need. We always talk about a third scorer. Yep. Now you became a fourth scorer because of Dennis Schroeder. Now you're the third scorer again. You got to step up.
So they are shooting, their team, shooting 34% on open three-pointers, 4 to 6 feet of space. During the regular season, they shot 40% when they were not one of the good three-point shooting teams. They need at least an average game of open shots tonight, and ideally an overachieving game.
Right, but playoff basketball is harder. Those numbers do.
I know, but that was the difference between them in the bubble last year is that they hit those outside shots, and with that buffer, they became a dominating team. They're going to need that outside shooting.
So you mentioned some of those pivotal Game 5s. They all not have been in the first round, but we have seen LeBron in those games where it was just like, you remember that game in Boston, that second year he was with the Heat, right? And it was like, you have to go win this game. He needs to put it on his shoulders and do it. And in the first round, he has never lost back-to-back games, ever. 71 games that he's played in first round, never had a back-to-back loss. Tim Duncan and, oh, look, Robert Horry on that list also. Top 3 of all time, Robert. And just this goes back to, is he still a guy at this point in his career? And frankly, with this injury, I don't even think I would be asking this question before he sprained his ankle, but as Frank Vogel has said multiple times, he said he has made the point, LeBron is not completely right yet. LeBron has said he's not 100%. Is he capable at this age, with this injury he's still nursing, going out and putting the whole thing and just going out and getting the win?
I really think he can, because a lot of times as a player, when you have someone like AD, you can say, I don't need to do the things that I normally do because I have AD. Now AD is out. I got to ramp it up a little bit. I got to go out there and attack the basket, because if you watch LeBron play in the games, he's only spent twice. You know, he comes down the lane, he spins. He's only done that twice.
Really?
And that lets you know that ankle is not right. Now he's going to do that because that's how he gets to the hole. That's how he get and ones and buckets. He has to be in attack mode in order for this team to be successful. He can't just sit on the perimeter and play the ball, because he has 2 good defenders on him. Bridges, he's one of these young, tough defenders we talk about, trying to make his name in his league. So he has to be in attack mode, because vets like that get calls.
Well, look, just as the Lakers get more injuries on their plate, the Suns do seem to be getting healthier. You heard that little clip of sound at the front of the segment here. Chris Paul definitely looked better range of motion all the way through in Game 4. Still has not made a 3 since Game 1, but he led the Suns, 18 points, 9 assists, and just immeasurable confidence he gave that team on the floor. 32 minutes. Look, Rob, how much better did CP3 look to you, and what do you expect when he's had another 2 days of rest for tonight's game?
100%
day and a half,
better.
as he pointed out.
100% better. You can just tell by his shot. He had a hitch in that shot when he first hurt his arm, and when he was going to the free throw line, he was shaking like, oh, I have no feeling in his arm. So there's a lot of things going on with him, but you need him on that court, not just for his shot making ability, his playmaking ability, but his leadership. He's always in the ear of the guys and telling them what to do, because the guy is one of the best vets to ever be in this game, a great teammate, and he wants to get to that championship. He's been so close so many times. Now he has a team that can do it.
So the Suns played in the Western Conference Finals in 2010. Mario Stoudemire's last year there. I would argue this is their biggest game since then, biggest game in a decade. They traded for Chris Paul. They drafted Devin Booker. They drafted DeAndre Ayton, signed these guys to contracts for this moment, to win this game. Now, obviously, it's not the be-all, end-all. We're talking about a first-round game. We're talking about a team that hasn't been in the playoffs in a decade. This is where the Suns say we either are a real contender or we're not.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be on our home court with our team, if generally full
fans
power,
in the building.
and we're going to beat this team. We're going to beat LeBron James. Huge moment for Phoenix. Chris is aware of it. Absolutely massive game in Phoenix tonight, and I want to see high-level basketball from the Suns. It's going to tell me a lot about them, way more about the Suns to me than the Lakers.
See, even he said it, beat LeBron James. Not the Lakers,
Right.
beat LeBron
That's
James.
right.
That's true. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
It was interesting. So in Game 4, I was the sideline reporter on our ABC broadcast, and you get really into the weeds right on the TikTok of, Chris's injury and all of this stuff. So Monty tells me not long before the game, he's going to really have to prove to me in pregame warm-ups that he is bad. That basically,
Yeah, because he was yanking them out of the game, which is no good.
He said, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he said the equivalent of he's going to basically have to show me that I'm not better off giving those minutes to our other guards. And you also need to hear from the medical staff that giving him a day or two of extra rest by pulling him from Game 4 isn't the best thing either. And he seemed that he was going to hold Chris to a very high standard for Chris to get out on the court. And you heard Chris then post-game saying Monty was like, I think we're going to sit you. And then Chris was like, you've got to let me get out there and show what I can do.
Yes.
And that to me is just the heart of who Chris Paul is. He is so competitive, and he is the kind of guy who shows up for his team. And we got to see that again in Game 4. We will get to see it on the Lakers side tonight, what happens there. All right, guys. Jump OG Brian Windhorst. Welcome back.
This desk is spectacular. It's just gorgeous. I'm so happy.
It is real and spectacular. And of course, the 7-time champ, the legend, Mr. Robert Horry. Thank you for being with us as well. We got a lot of stuff to get to today. But first, we know how series go after a team is up 3-0. There's a rhythm to this stuff. The way the team that's down comes out desperate and scrappy, and hey, sometimes they even get a game, but that's usually it. In NBA history, no team with a 3-0 series lead has ever lost that series. Not once in the 141 times that situation has occurred. So when the ball tipped off in DC between the top-seeded Sixers and the 8th-seeded Wizards, it was easy to feel like you knew what was about to happen. We did not know what was about to happen. Instead, we got chaos. This was right in the first quarter. Robin Lopez blocking Joel Embiid on a drive to the hoop. At first, it looks like Embiid falls on his back or hip, but slow it down, and you can see that his foot and leg are going to take the brunt of the fall first, which, when you are nearly 300 pounds, that is a big brunt. And Joel gets credit for trying to gut this out, but he was clearly hobbled. And once he disappeared into the locker room, he never came back, with the team announcing, quote, right knee soreness. We are waiting for an update there. Anyway, that left Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris to lead the charge for Philadelphia. And hey, Harris has had some terrific outings this season since being reunited with Doc Rivers. Yesterday was not one of them. The Wizards seemed to have Harris's shot on auto block. He was 8 for 24 from the floor, just 1 of 5 from 3. Now, on the other side, neither Bradley Beal nor Russell Westbrook was exactly lighting it up either, but Russ did pull down a ridiculous 21 rebounds, and Washington also got a nice boost from Rui Hachimura. And all of this, you would think, would put the Wizards' home crowd in a good mood. Although maybe it was too good a mood, because in the third quarter, some idiot ran onto the court and tried to do idiot stuff. Seriously, people, this whole fans gone wild crap that we've seen in NBA arenas this past week or so, it is not funny. From the water bottle that got thrown at Kyrie's head on Sunday to the earlier incidents involving Russ, Trae Young, or John Morant's family, it is all way, way over the line. And I really have no idea how anyone could have come out of the year we have just experienced with so little regard or decency for other people, or for the privilege of just getting to do something as normal as sit in a full arena and watch a basketball game. Fortunately, the fan in D.C. didn't disturb any of the players directly, which meant the game continued, but again, not exactly in a normal way. Instead, down the stretch, the Wizards started going hack-a-shack on Ben Simmons, who had come into the evening 0 for 9 from the foul line in the series. Now, this is not a totally new strategy for Coach Scott Brooks. When Simmons was a rookie, Brooks once instructed his team to send Simmons to the line 24 times in a single quarter. Now, it didn't work back then. I guess it sort of worked last night, because even though Simmons went 1 for 2 each time Washington tried the tactic, the Wizards were still able to pull out the win and extend the series at least one more game. Afterward, a reporter asked Doc if he had considered pulling Simmons when Washington was fouling him. Here was Doc's reply.
No.
Why not?
You want me to take Ben Simmons off the floor? No, I mean, I got to ask the
I
question.
will pass on that one. He's pretty good, so I'll pass on that suggestion.
Doc is right. Anyone only looking at Simmons through a scoring lens is making a mistake, which is why it is so crucial the Sixers get a healthy Embiid back. They might not absolutely need him to close out this series, especially not after Davis Bertans, who was also hurt yesterday, was diagnosed with a calf strain that Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting will essentially, in effect, end his season. But after a night where nothing went as expected, Philadelphia was reminded just how fickle the playoffs can be. Get out of rhythm too often, and you can get knocked off the dance floor entirely. So there's just so much there, Robert, but let's start with the Embiid injury. Do you think the Sixers can at least just get out of the first round, even if he can't come back for Game 5?
I think they can, because if you look at the cast of characters that they have some all-star type caliber. You got Harris that's been there, and also you got a guy that's been there for a long time, and I call him Hips.
Okay.
And because he's won 3 championships on 3 different teams. You know, I call him Hips, but I love the guy. And they have a great crew, man. If you look at Tobias Harris, should have been an all-star. You got Dwight Howard, who's just coming off a championship. There's so many guys on this team that can carry him. And let's face it, if they find a way to stop Bill, they'll be fine. So I'm not worried about it. I know everybody said, oh, they're down 3-1 now. Well, they're up 3-1, and they lost Embiid. They've been without Embiid before. So this is not something new for them. So they can, weather the storm and be just okay.
I am covering this series as much as you can cover it in today's day and age. And so I was on with the players and the coaches last night, and I can tell you that there was a level of concern about Embiid. You're right, Robert. They've done this before. They've played without him, but they also know if he's not back and where he needs to be, they're not winning the Eastern Conference. And the reason that I hope that he's okay, and this is just a minor thing, is this team was playing so well. They won 10 of 12 down the stretch to get the #1 seed. Then in this series, Tobias played great, that 37-1 game. Ben Simmons was playing really well before the hack of Ben last night. And then Joel came into this game averaging 30 points and 67% shooting. He's never looked better. They, in my mind, were gearing up for a major showdown in the conference finals. And I got to say, Rachel, Embiid hasn't talked to the media yet, but I bet he's got to be feeling deja vu, because it was in March in Washington where he hurt his other knee on a similar play where he landed and it kind of buckled a little bit and he missed a month. Now, what you're hoping from this MRI today is that you see a minor thing. Maybe he can't play in tomorrow's Game 5. Maybe he can't play in a theoretical Game 6, but that he would be back relatively soon. And that MRI is going to be really important.
Yeah, and look, we will keep you guys updated if that comes up during the show. I do want to get to the Hack of Ben stuff, though. How did you feel about Doc Rivers, Robert, coming out and defending Ben so vehemently? If you listen to the rest of that press conference, by the way, he was upset with Philadelphia fans, saying that even our own fans don't appreciate Ben enough and what he can do.
I just want to say, would you take Shaquille O'Neal out of the game? Because it's called Hack of Shaq for a reason. And I played 7 years with Shaq, and they've been doing this for a long time. Popovich was the master of trying to get Shaq to go to the foul line. But all that does is make a guy mad. Right. And when he goes on the other end, he's going to play better defense, he's going to get rebounds, and he's going to make his teammates even better. But people in the stands got to say, okay, he's missing free throws. So what? What does he give you on the other end? He gives you everything on the other end. He gives you great defense. He gets other people involved in the game. So you can't worry about that. He's going to figure it out. He'd be all right. 1 out of 2, I'd take that. Just get you a lead, so if it does happen, you don't have to worry about it.
Well, Robert, what Doc said was 1 out of 2 is 1 point per possession, and statistically, 1 point per possession is acceptable. If you do that,
love Doc. He didn't mention the word analytics.
That's
He
right.
was
what?
Who knew? Doc Rivers, Mr. Analytics.
He flipped it right around. He's been defending Ben all season. He's been saying this guy should be the defensive player of the year. He's been saying you guys don't respect him enough. Last night he said he's a treasure. You're going to miss this treasure. And the thing about it is that Ben Simmons is terrific, but when Embiid is out of the game and they lose the ability to double teams and open those three-point shooting, his foul shooting is a liability. That doesn't mean he's a bad player. That doesn't mean he's a bad person, but that is a liability. And he shot 53% at the line after the All-Star break this year. Scott Brooks knew that, and I would look for it again if Joel cannot play tomorrow night.
Well, I mentioned it. Scott Brooks has done it before, so he apparently was looking out for it.
I'm just saying, be like Shaq. Take him to the post, run out of bounds like Shaq used to do so you can't foul him, and then you'll be fine.
Be like Shaq. Just the easiest instructions in basketball. Look, back to the issue of the fan running on the court. Fortunately, it didn't turn into anything more, but, there's safety issues. Obviously, we've seen this in other sports. Brian, is the league coming up with any solution other than what they can do, which is ban fans from arenas. And then obviously we've now seen an uptick in teams going to the actual police in the city they are in. This fan was arrested, and the fan up in Boston was arrested as well.
Do we think banning fans from arenas is really an effective tool? Because we're not going to, I think one of the fans lost their season tickets. That is definitely painful. But I think I could probably get in the arena with a disguise. So two things have got to happen.
Like a mustache or like a...
Well, I'm so famous, I would never be able to do it.
Exactly, yeah.
But first off, I'm not sure that the security staff has been beefed back up. If you watch what happened in this game last night, this guy ran from the middle of the concourse all the way down to the court unabated within 2 seconds. Obviously, it was a letdown. That's not supposed to happen. That's been protected for years. There was a breach there. There's also a social contract. Society says we're going to let you sit here and you have to respect the players, and in return you get to have this great intimacy. So I am going to wager on society, and then society will outcast these people. But part of that is harsh penalties, not banned from the arena, felonies or severe misdemeanors, and that's what I think we're going to see happen.
Yeah, I totally agree with the misdemeanor part. They should have some kind of thing where they can, like, not just ban them from the arena, do something for the law can take over, put them in jail for a couple of weeks or something, something severe, so you discourage other people from doing it. You watch this guy who ran on the court. You see this happening in so many sports where someone is running on the field because they want to get noticed. We just saw this in the Super Bowl. And these people say they should want attention. So you want some attention, let's put you in jail. And I love what we did. We skewed out his face so you can't sue who he is. That's the perfect thing. Don't give him any kind of acknowledgement. Put him in jail, let him sit there in solitary confinement for about 2 weeks.
And let him spend $20,000 defending himself from a serious charge. That would, help.
And I'm okay releasing their name. I don't want to put their face on TV. Obviously, we didn't do that. But by releasing the name, look, if that person's boss or friends or there's a little social pressure on them, like, come on, man, why are you an idiot? I think that's okay, too.
They sitting around a water cooler right now. I know people don't sit around a water cooler anymore, but I'm saying they sitting around talking about, oh, did you see me? Like, yeah, man, that was funny, man. He's like, what happened? So now he got his social media up. That's all they want. It's the social media thing. Like, did you see me around the court? So many things like that come into play where you got it. Security has to be beefed up. I know right now a lot of people still don't know what's going on in these arenas as far as the security and stuff. I don't care. The fans gonna be crazy right now because they've been locked up. Bring that security. Bring more security. That's more jobs. It's the NBA. You can afford it. Put more security.
Yes, everyone has been stuck at home. We have not been able to have sports the way we have wanted to for more than a year. Can we just have nice things? Like, I'm sorry. It blows my mind that especially after this past year, where I hope we all have a deeper gratitude and appreciation for each other as humans, and then obviously these communal experiences we did not get to have for so long, how people can just be so trifling with them and abuse that. It is beyond me, and I really hope that we can see a downshift in this because it has been a bad week in this department, people.
You don't want this trending up.
Exactly. All right.
With it. So what you going to do about it? Oh, game 4, you're coming back again. Well, it's going to happen again. We win the game. We talk and we push around. So what are you going to do about it? So that's what happened. We can do it too. We can be physical, but we can win games as well. And now we're coming to your home to win this game again. They send you on vacation.
I mean, the last part is just, and Robert, if this was a younger player who didn't know better, I'd be like, the arrogance of youth. Clint Capella has been in plenty of playoff series. What did you think of this?
You know what? Sometimes you got to take a stand. And as a player, when guys are trying to push you around and talk trash to you, and all of a sudden you say, wait, we ain't soft. Just because we're not the Knicks and you the gritty, grimy team, we can do the same thing. So you got to fight back. I like Clint Capella. I like what he said.
So Derrick Rose got asked about this, and he goes like, I haven't talked trash my whole career. You think I'm going to start because Clint Capella's talking trash? I love it. I think the Garden is going to be rocking. And I'm watching Clint talk, and I'm like, he's not really going to talk trash. No, he kept talking. I was like, yes, he is.
And then he got a button at the end. We're going to send you on vacation.
Man. It was great. I loved it.
So that that's going to have the Knicks fans rowdy.
Oh, man.
Right? Maybe he did it to take some of the pressure off Trey. Like, maybe we're not going to have the Trey is balding sign.
Why can't we have both?
Let's have it all. We want it all.
We'll be right back. This is the 3, and there is Russ to clean up. Rob, how do you forget to box out Russ? The man had 21 rebounds.
This dude is a little. What are you doing? See, this is what happens.
A little.
Small guys are not used to boxing out. Russ is one of the most dynamic rebounders in the game. You got to box the most angry guy in the league out.
Plus, Embiid is in the locker room. Russ smells opportunity, 21 boards.
Right. It's still, I know he's looking for them. I know the rest of the team is looking for him to get them. It's still so damn impressive. If it was easy, everyone would do it. The size he is, in that mess in the middle, being the guy who comes down with it over and over again, matters. There you go. All right, make hesitation. Ja with the rock. Nice little dance move here. Puts the hezi on Donovan Mitchell. Finishes. Brian, is this a new era Smitty?
I don't know what a Smitty is. I'm going to be honest
What?
with you. I just know that.
I do not know what a Smitty is.
Well,
It's the tricky.
I just know that. Just watch Bogdan Bogdanovic, or Bojan Bogdanovic, I should say.
Here you go,
Look, here you
Steve
go.
Smith.
Shout out,
Oh,
Steve.
ask and you have received.
Exactly.
Okay. Oh, that's Smitty.
That's Smitty.
Yeah, is there another Smitty? No.
I apologize. I didn't know what it was. I learn something new every day.
There
That
are
was
a bunch
sweet
of guys.
behind the back move, though.
Yes, and there are
y'all
a bunch
got
of
a
guys
lot
who
of
do that now.
talent.
It's really cool. He's so fun to watch, man. And we're just getting started with John Morant. Whatever happens in this series, this is just the beginning. All right, Miss Patience, back to DC. Wild shot goes up here. It's Rui there to clean it up this time and smash it home. And then he's given a tech for yelling. Rob, where are you on that?
I am so shocked, but these refs are so sensitive. It's the game of basketball. Let it go. He's yelling. If you'd have walked up to him and got in his face and yelled, I remember one time I did that to Oakley, and I was like, what the
did?
heck was I thinking when I walked right down the court? I'm like, I was so shocked that I did, but sometimes you get caught up in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
It's the playoffs. You have to let this go, man. It's basketball. It happens.
I wouldn't be surprised if this one is rescinded. It was stunning in the moment. It looks even worse even afterwards.
Great. And look, considering the bigness of the moment, this was one of his best games ever as a pro.
Oh,
And,
gosh,
like,
yeah.
How
He was
not
like, it was
let
on
him
me. You're
celebrate.
calling it on me. He
Right.
was stunned.
Like,
at that.
he's
And it was a nasty dunk. Let's be
Celebrating.
honest. It was a
Yeah, let
nasty
him
dunk.
Yell. Let the man live. Make webbing. Royce O'Neal missing the wing three. Donovan Mitchell just flying in there for the rebound before hitting his own wing three. I just think maybe we need to do an all rebound highlight package, Rob.
Oh, yes.
The
And you
forgotten part of the game.
especially with the guards. The guards have got the hops nowadays.
Yeah.
They being aggressive. They're going to the rim. This was a nasty rebound. Look at that. He just
Yeah.
snatches it out of Al one-handed and goes out and says, you know what? I'm going to J you up too.
I know people get tired of the Dwayne Wade comparisons, but that's how Dwayne used to rebound, except Dwayne wouldn't go out and shoot a three.
Well,
That's
first
where
of all-
he's sort of Dwayne 2.0.
Donovan Mitchell is not tired of the Dwayne Wade comparisons because he's been very open that is
Right.
who he modeled his game after. The fact that Dwayne is now part of the franchise has been really cool for Donovan, and there you go.
By the way, getting healthier with that ankle, bad news for the rest of the league.
Yes, big time.
Yep, absolutely. All right, sticking with that Jazz Grizz series, Utah did win their third straight. It is now a 3-1 series for them. Unbeaten since Donovan returned to the lineup. So, Brian, are the Jazz starting to look as dominant as you expected here?
Here's what I liked about these two wins in Memphis. Both games could have gone either direction. And they put the old boa constrictor
Yeah, there we go.
just wrapped around and squeezed the life out of both games. And that is what a confident, experienced, championship level team does. I wouldn't say they